One thing that I'm very sick and tired of seeing is all of these women giving bad advice, especially to the younger women, because you know what it is? Misery loves company. I see all of these women in their 30s, 40s, 50s that are giving terrible advice to women in their 20s and even younger than that. So, coming from a woman, I'm going to be honest with you and I'm going to tell you what hitting the wall means. So, men value different things than women do. They value beauty, youth, and they value someone that respects themselves. When you start aging, your biological clock is ticking, and that is just a real fact. Going into your 30s, your options are going to be less than when you were in your 20s. And those guys around your age are now looking at the younger women, and you're going to be competing now with the 20-year-olds for the guys that you want. And then now, when you're ready to start settling down and possibly start thinking about having kids, those same guys might feel like you're rushing them and they might not want the same things at this point. So then the dating market starts getting stressful, and then now these women are rushing for time because now their biological clock is really ticking and they want to go through the stages. And then a lot of them end up single, a lot of them end up childless because they chose to have fun in their 20s instead of looking for a relationship. And they thought that when the time came that they did want to settle down, that they would still have all the options that they had when they were 20. But then reality hits, and a lot of them end up childless and single and not by choice. So don't listen to all of these women that are saying that they're so happy and they're so content with not having children and they didn't want to get married, because the reality is that a lot of them did, most of them did. And by that point, they just didn't have a choice anymore. And so they had to accept that now they are childless and single. So of course they're going to make the best out of it. But what I don't like is that they're preaching to the younger generation that this is the way to go. Because if they could have chosen...
Look, in life, you never take advice from someone you would trade places with. So if someone seems like they're unhappy, they seem like all they talk about is negative, and they just give you this terrible advice to be happy, you shouldn't do it.
For your chair to cater to a woman you know nothing about, unless you are romanticizing her.
Yes. And I feel like the one thing that a lot of guys don't acknowledge is that while it is better to treat someone like a fine piece of art than it is to treat them like a doormat, the one thing that doormats and pieces of art have in common is that they're both still objects. Like if I was with my friend and I started complimenting this woman I've never met, saying how great she looks even though I don't know what her voice sounds like, and that I want to spend money and fly just to go see her, it would make more sense if I was talking about the Mona Lisa than it would if I was talking about a real human being. So when a guy is like clamoring and falling head over heels for a woman that he barely knows, she can often feel that if he saw her as an equal human being, he wouldn't be acting like this. And shockingly enough, it's really hard to develop a genuine connection with someone when you feel like they see you in a different light than they see human beings, like you're something else to them. And then to the fine art guys, they'll see that women don't like that treatment as much and go, oh, women don't like it when I treat them well, because to them, their baseline is all the way up here. So even neutral treatment, like equal human being treatment, is gonna seem like such a net negative that it looks like poor treatment. Which is why a lot of former nice guys did a full 180 and now think they have to be awful to women to get them to like them. Which often ends up actually working out better for them, because unfortunately enough, it makes more sense for one person to view someone else as a human being and then be awful to them than for them to view them as a human being and then be unconditionally kind and
cheated on you, disrespected you, you chose that woman.
That's true, man. I couldn't agree more. Never ever change yourself for someone else and always take accountability for your own actions. Most of the things that happen to your life are usually because of you. They're usually your fault. Not everything, but most of the things that happen to you, if you can look back to your choices, it all came back down to you.
Next time you start doing your hair and putting it up, make sure you have deodorant on first.
Stop calling the pretty girls pretty. They know that. Call the ugly girls ugly.
Be needy with girls. Here's the secret. If you watch my videos, you know I always tell you that girls hate needy guys. I regularly get questioned about how to not come off as needy. So here's the secret. It all boils down to abundance. If you don't have abundance, it means you lack options, which causes you to be desperate and needy. You start being emotional about losing her. Then you start triple texting her and worrying about her leaving you. This type of behavior disgusts women, guys. You have to understand this. Start discovering why you lack abundance in your life and start correcting it. I typically recommend getting more discipline and work on yourself to give yourself more options.
It's true, but don't try to hide it or lie. Truly believe that. You have to change your priorities. It should not be your top priority, man. Your top priority should be yourself, God, your health, your wealth, and your family first.
Okay, go! I didn't get anybody. Oh my god! This is scary. They're doing targeted, coordinated attacks.
He's a phantom.
Elizabeth, you're so emotional. Slow down. Wait. Look at this guy. Buddy, if you want to impress my girl with a vehicle, it's going to have to be a food truck. Relax. All right?
I love that.
You know what I mean? This guy think he is.
What was that?
I said for our anniversary, I want you to get me something that goes 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds.
But you already have a bathroom scale.
Having a girlfriend is going to keep you broke, and here's why. Let me count the ways. Sorry guys, it's just who you are. And hear me out. This video, we care about two things already, not being alone and not being broke, and we've already externalized some of our validation into not being alone. And can some of us agree that we think making the money is what's going to keep us from being alone? Can we agree on that? To gain wealth, you need to build a skill set, you need to position yourself well, and then you need to build momentum. You have to get somewhere. You have to push that ball faster and faster, and you can't take your hands off that project. You are not going to softly fall into money while balancing a relationship and their needs along with your ambitions. Because you'll have to put work into your relationship so that way they don't leave you. Because the women that will date you while you're broke are not the lifestyle ones that'll sit through the fact that you're always busy. See, a girl who will date you when you're broke, she values companionship, emotional availability, emotional support, connection. Once you're rich, the girls that will date you want lifestyle. So they'll be fine with you working 80 hours a week because they just want the handbag. And at that point, you can have a girlfriend and stay rich because you hopefully have developed a skill set and found a way to automate your businesses or keep your businesses moving while also having your cake and eating it too. The automation part's the really cool part here for dating, because once I automated my businesses and took 2 years off, I slowed down, I softened up a little bit, and I started dating women who wanted emotional availability, but also a wealthy or accomplished man. And I'll tell you, I've never met such amazing people and felt so masculine and important in my life than to be able to kind of do both. Getting to both is where you want to be. You don't want to get rich and date the hussies that want the bag. You want to get rich, fail dating the hussies that want the bag, realize that there's more out there, automate your businesses, and go find your soul again, and then find your soulmate.
He says some truth, but there are some outliers. For example, Conor McGregor's wife, she was with him when he was broke on welfare, and she always believed in him and said, "You can do it, honey. You can become the greatest fighter in the world. See where he turned into." So you can really look and understand that some people or some women in your life can really lift you up and become a great motivating factor.
Has cheated? I think so.
Why did you cheat?
So basically the sex was just horrible. I just had another thing going on the side.
So why didn't you leave him?
He was just nice. He was just genuine, But the other guy I knew was just for fun. It was just still really good.
You can't make this shit up! Did you come clean?
When he read my messages, yeah.
26, bro. I'm 26. My mom kept me away from my dad for 26 years. You know what kept me away from him? My mom told me that my dad said I was a mistake and kept me away from my father. Every time, this been looking for me since I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's been looking for me. I finally talked to my dad. He's a good dude. My mom told me my dad has not paid child support since I was a kid. I finally meet this. He has envelopes full of fucking shit proof showing he been paying child support. My mom calls me. What you doing, baby? What's going on? I'm at my dad's house. What the fuck you doing at the house? Didn't I say don't discuss family business? My dad bust through the door and snatched the phone. I was trying to, no. He's like, hello? Put my son back on the phone. No, it's my son too. What do you want? Put my son back on the phone. And my dad loses it. Going in on my mom. And I'm listening to my mom. All that slapping, abuse, and beating me up, choking me when I'm on the floor, beating me with belts, wrapping hangers around other hangers. My mom turned into a 2-year-old little girl when my dad started talking to her. She talked to me like my entire life. He's yelling on the phone, you mad because I left you. And I didn't want to be with you no more. And you kept my son away from me as a weapon. Whenever my mom would get pissed off by my dad or my sister's dad, she would say, we'll never see your son again if you disrespect.
The sad truth of this is that this happens more often than people are willing to admit.
Women want to be in competition with your dreams. In this day and game with the gram, you know, a chick will tell you better chase me like you chase your money. That's not happening, baby. You got your life fucked up. Not me. Not me. Not Wallow267, aka Wallace Peoples. That would never happen.
But you know they just be testing a nigga when they say
They ain't testing me. Test somebody else. Go to school and take a test, baby. You ain't gonna do that shit with me.
Boys to cheating on your girlfriend. I would rather snitch on my homies.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, bet. Okay. Message you later.
Hey, we've been doing this for a little while. So what are we?
Guy should rule, so.
Kayla's like all power to the men. You know what I mean? Kayla's more like, I don't want to say anti-feminism. You're not. But like, if the guy can work and I can be a stay-at-home mom, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. Who fought for our damn rights to go to work and vote and shit.
You know, it's funny because people will call dudes insecure for setting boundaries in a relationship, when in reality, I think it's the complete opposite. I think the dudes that are actually insecure are the ones that'll let their girls walk all over them. The ones too scared to put their foot down in a relationship because they scared their girl is just gonna walk away. They have no confidence within themselves to believe that they can maintain a relationship just by being themselves, so they have to add incentives. Deep down, they feel as though she's settling for them, so they might as well let her do whatever she wants. Because what's stopping her from talking to Larry across the street? And I think this can apply to both genders. However, I find the difference in reactions and outcomes from each gender quite interesting. Because if a girl is in a relationship getting done dirty, I'm talking grimy by a dude, everybody's going to question, where's her self-respect? Why does she put up with this? But when a dude lets anything slide, it's as he should. And I'm not talking about Adam 22. That's something different. But what's also interesting is you can use what I said earlier and look at it as letting things slide because of insecurities. Or you can also look at it as letting things slide because he just does not give two craps about you. What I've never understood about the attack on these boundaries is the fact that if a dude genuinely cares about you, if a dude has genuine intentions for you for the future, he's gonna care about the way that you represent him as well as yourself, as well as the relationship. Any dude who's out here just letting you do whatever you want, whenever you want, most likely is doing it as well, and most likely does not care about you as much as you think he does. And everybody's gonna have different boundaries, you know, naturally, based off of the way that you grew up or just based off of the things that you've experienced in the past. And that's not necessarily wrong, you know, to each his own. Some dudes don't care if she got a boy best friend. Me personally, we don't do that over here, but it's preference. But don't try to downplay other people's boundaries because you let everything slide.
One person, but they just can't seem to get their attention, or maybe they just feel like they're not good enough.
Do you want my honest answer?
Yes.
My honest answer is that, okay? Who the are they? Who the are they to you? The only thing that makes them special is what you have in your head of them. Them. You're the special one. You're the prize. You just gotta show them that. They should be on their knees begging for a chance to be with you. But instead, you're in your head sitting here thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. That Who the are they, Dom? Who the are they? They're nobody. They're nobody. Get the up right the